I was once a cop in my previous life and I loved watching anime and manga and I also loved horror movies along with any other movies. I was a good cop and a good man and I never fired my gun and I never killed anyone. I always helped good people until one day I was shot while trying my best to save my fellow police officers, but it ended up getting me killed. I was shot in the back but not before I saved every police officer, and for this noble sacrifice I was rewarded. I was reincarnated with all my memories from my previous life and I was reborn as Son Goku with God Ki and all the powers and potential of Frieza. But one day Frieza trained for millions of years in the hyperbolic time chamber and that bastard Frieza had finally managed to do it. He had surpassed me in power and then one day he showed up on my earth and he killed me first with a ki blast to the heart, and then I heard all the screams of my family and friends and I vowed if I ever returned to life again that I would never allow evil to win again, and then I was reborn again as a newborn human male infant. But I now have all the powers of Goku and Frieza combined with all the powers and potential of Saitama the One Punch Man, and then instantly I became the chosen champion of this world and I smiled warmly and giggled cutely as my parents held me in their arms and I said in my mind, "Don't worry mom and dad, I will save you all." And then as the years passed and I became 9 years old, I had discovered that even at a young age I still have all my incredible powers and then some from my previous life, and ever since I turned 5 years old I became obsessed with doing the Saitama training. So I started doing it 5 years old and I didn't stop training until I was 9 years old, and then I begged my parents to please send me to the Shaolin temple, so they did because I was always such a good kid and I was always very smart and I also got good grades in grade school. And then as I began training with the Shaolin monks, they taught me everything they knew about martial arts and I became a master of all martial arts within 5 years, and I also received a master belt in every form of martial arts achievement I was very proud of, since I always wanted to do that in my old previous life as a cop. And after 10 years of me training with the Shaolin monks, I chose to return home to my family after I graduated college, and everything I was now stronger than I had ever been before. I did Shaolin training combined with the Saitama training method, and I also did my old training as Goku, and I had become a living weapon against all evil in my new world. And I was also surprised to discover that this is the dark supernatural universe that's also home to Sam and Dean Winchester along with their family, and is also home to famous killers and monsters like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees, and yes, Art the Clown. I was reborn as Mike the Exterminator and I knew that one day I would meet Art the Clown and I knew I had to stop him with my powers. I also decided to save Sam and Dean Winchester along with their family. I decided to save them a lot of trouble and I became the legendary hunter, and also because of my heroic nature I saved a lot of beautiful women, two of them being Demon Ruby and Demon Megan. And Ruby is the Genevieve Padalecki version of Ruby and Demon Megan is the Rachel Miner version of Megan. I had managed to save their lives many times and because of this they had sex with me so much I didn't count anymore. They even got pregnant by me many times, but I never married the two beautiful women despite my very strong relationship with them. And because of my relationship with the two women and me being the main demon hunter in this world, I got my hands on many powerful weapons from the supernatural storyline, one of them being the legendary Colt pistol, a gun capable of killing almost every type of demon and monster with a single shot, and I even have the demon blade from Ruby. And since I am the most powerful human on earth, I became the chosen vessel of Lucifer, but Lucifer knew better that my mortal soul was just far too powerful for him to defeat, so because of his weakness Ruby the demon became loyal to me. And yes, she is the beautiful Genevieve Padalecki version of Ruby the demon, and Megan is the Rachel Miner version of Megan the demon, and over the years they helped me a lot, and so did Sam and Dean Winchester, and I stopped Lucifer and I even took all his grace and I absorbed all his powers in my body, and I permanently gained all Lucifer's powers, and in doing so I inadvertently became the new ruler of hell. When I put Lucifer in his cage forever, Ruby and Megan kneeled down to me like a king, and then they both said my king, and my eyes shined brightly, but like Jack's, not Lucifer's. That's right, I had gained all the powers of Jack, Lucifer's son from Supernatural, and because of me Lucifer could no longer escape his prison. I had saved humanity, but I had also inadvertently became the ruler of hell.